What's going on, my psychedelic squadron? It's your boy Tripper here, man. I'm about to go ahead and hit you with this top 10 predictions for the rookie premieres for Madden 19/Madden 20. Now, if you aren't already subscribed, I suggest you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man. I mean, I don't know why you're even here if you ain't subscribed. I mean, you might as well subscribe to your boy if you mean you're saying you're already here and you're listening to me ramble on for like 10 seconds already. But that's not the point. The point is, man, go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Only if you enjoy this later on in the video. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you join the Psychedelic Squadron. And make sure you comment down below what your top 10 rookie premiere predictions are for Madden 19/20. Now let's go ahead and get this out the way first. We already did get one rookie premiere revealed to us on stream this morning as they were going through like the rating stretch system that they had going on for Madden 20 upcoming. And that is Mr. Darnell Savage Jr. And he is a 99 overall for this Madden. Lord knows what his overall would be for Madden 20 on day one. But his speed is 97, acceleration 98, 91 tackle, 93, play recognition 96 pursuit, 92 man coverage, 98 zone coverage with an 87 hit power, and he is standing at 5'11". Not gonna lie, I didn't know my man had dread, so that threw me for a loop when I first seen that. The character art on this is absolutely amazing. If you ask me, the background is 100% awesome, really fluent. I hope they carry that same picture into Madden 20. That would be absolutely dope. But enough rambling. We're gonna go ahead and do this offense first, defense second, and it'll be technically 9 players, so the title may be misleading because of, you know, the already announced Mr. Darnell Savage. Enough rambling, enough talking. Let's get to the video. And as you can see on the screen, this is basically a no-brainer. The consensus #1 overall pick by the Arizona Cardinals, Oklahoma quarterback, Mr. Kyler Murray. Now, it's basically a no-brainer, man. Now, you're probably thinking, Trip, last year they had Sam Darnold as the quarterback, and he was the #3 overall pick, and Baker Mayfield was the #1 overall pick. What's this? Why Kyler Murray? Why not somebody else? Why not the Wayne? Look, man, it's mostly because Baker Mayfield was more of a surprise pick. Not even the announcers that were announcing these picks didn't expect Baker Mayfield to go #1. There was a lot of character issues at the time. There was a lot of things that were up in the air as far as should we take him, what is this, blah, 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 what's going on. He proved all of them wrong, and that opened up the door a little bit more for players like Kyler Murray to go ahead and come in with that Oklahoma pedigree and see what they could do to the league. So here's my pick for the quarterback position. My halfback prediction for the rookie premieres for Madden 19/20 is going to be Oakland Raiders running back Josh Jacobs. As you can see on the screen, the former Alabama running back is most likely going to be that. He's the first running back taken off the board. The next running back wasn't taken until pick like number 53, if I'm not mistaken, and that was Miles Sanders of my Philadelphia Eagles. And I don't see them giving him a card. The only scenario I could have seen them doing, giving him a card, is if Jonathan Abrams was actually the safety position, but we already confirmed that Darnell Savage is the safety position for the rookie premieres. So with Josh Jacobs being an Oakland Raider, Jonathan Abrams also being an Oakland Raider, getting drafted later on in the first round, that kind of throws it. They're not going to put 2 Oakland Raiders out there at the same time. So my prediction is that Josh Jacobs is going to be the halfback rookie premiere. I expect them to get a shit ton of carries, a lot of productivity for the most part. The offensive line necessarily isn't what it was with them trading a couple pieces, but they also did draft pretty heavy in this past couple years with, I think they drafted a left tackle or right tackle last year, and then they got a couple other key pieces. They still have their center, so we'll see how that works out. Derek Carr, if healthy, could take a little bit of pressure off of Josh Jacobs, and maybe Josh Jacobs could take a little bit of pressure off of him. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the next pick. My wide receiver prediction for the rookie premieres is going to be Mr. Marquis Brown. There really isn't a whole lot of discussion that needs to be done in this. He's a blazer. He's got some run after the catch abilities, and he was the first wide receiver taken on the board. That's going to be the consensus for majority of these picks, outside of one in particular that I'll get to in a little bit. It's pretty much a no-brainer, honestly. Outside of Kyler Murray and another defensive player that I wanted to go ahead and get into, these are basically shoe-ins. I mean, literal shoe-ins to go ahead and be rookie premieres, man. This is great for us because early on in Madden 20, the thing that you want is speed, 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 because that is going to be the biggest mismatch, and especially the way that Madden 20 plays. You can go ahead and get a Marquis Brown, which is, if this is true and this holds true as far as my predictions are concerned, getting Marquis Brown will be #1 priority for 99.9% of all players heading into Madden 20 because of that coveted blazing cheetah speed. So as you can see on these highlights that are on the screen, my dude has a little bit of wiggles to go with that burner. It'll be a little interesting to see what he can go ahead and put on the plate if he gets his Rookie Premier card heading into Madden 20. My tight end prediction for Rookie Premier is going to be Mr. TJ Hockenson. He doesn't have the greatest of speed, but his tape shows that he makes crazy catches. His routes running is pretty good, and his run blocking is amazing. Now, this could go a couple different ways. I honestly don't see Noah Fant really taking this from him, but with the speed that he has, I can see him being more of a fan favorite and more enjoyable and more consumable to the players to go ahead and, get that as soon as possible. Kind of ties in with the Marquis Brown thing. Speed is going to be a big factor in how we choose to get these cards, and the only way that we can really look at that is like their 40-yard dash times. Noah Fant actually ran like a 4.5, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the fastest 40-yard dash by any tight end of last year. Now, there are 3 tight ends. Irv Smith, which I think was selected in the 2nd round by the Minnesota Vikings. Got TJ Hockenson, and then there is Noah Fant. Out of all 3 of those, the comparisons would be TJ Hockenson to Gronk, to Noah Fant to more of a George Kittle type of mold, and then Irv Smith to more of a Jordan Reed type of mold. But out of all 3 of these, the consensus, in my personal opinion, would be Mr. TJ Hockenson. It's kind of a toss-up depending on how they want to go ahead and do this. Unfortunately, my offensive lineman prediction does not have a card in MUT 19, so we're just going to actually go straight into the highlights of him. Mr. Jonah Williams, former Alabama left tackle. So honestly, there's apparently a huge discrepancy between him and damn near every other lineman in the league, seeing how he was picked number 11 by the Cincinnati Bengals as opposed to the next available offensive lineman I think was taken, if I'm not mistaken, do not quote me, please do not quote me, was Andre Dillard, number 22, left tackle by the Philadelphia Eagles. I could be wrong. There might have been a guard in there somewhere, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not about to do all that research. But Jonah Williams is actually a highly touted prospect, was basically the number 1 offensive lineman across the board. I'm not going to say he has Quentin Nelson potential as far as like how dominant he was, but my boy might be up there. So we'll see how that goes. But with all these offensive players, man, we got to get some of that defense in there, man. And my first pick for the Rookie Premiers is going to be Mr. Quinn Williams. Don't get me the line on how to pronounce that man's name. The number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft of the New York Jets, Mr. Williams. That's what we're rolling with today. Seeing how they did it last year, if I'm not mistaken, it was I think it was like Bradley Chubb as the lineman. Then he had outside linebacker and Leighton Vander Esch. Then he had somebody else. I want to say the middle linebacker was Roquan Smith. So they did 2 linebacker groups. And as you can see on my next prediction, I honestly see them doing 2 defensive linemen as a group in the Rookie Premiers. Dude was dominant, dude was big, dude was tough, dude penetrated, he was stout at the point of attack. Pretty much not too much to say about Mr. Quinn Williams, number 3 overall pick, highly touted defensive tackle. Should go ahead and get a Rookie Premiers card. And they need to show the big boys some love. That's my main reason all this. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. All right, now let's go ahead and get into the next pick. Well, looky here, man. If we don't have Bloodline 2.0, Nick Bosa. Oh, man. Nick Bosa was one of the most hyped players coming into this year. I remember seeing his face on magazines prior to the college football season last year, in which I think he only played 3 games. He still had enough tape and enough physical ability after his injury to go ahead and secure himself the number 2 overall pick in the draft of the San Francisco 49ers. Honestly, him and Kyler Murray, they're basically the shoo-ins. They are shoo-ins on offensive, defensive side of the ball to go ahead and get them a Rookie Premier card. Now, if I were to go ahead and say that anything that I said was possibly wrong, it is going to be most likely the fact that it'll be 2 defensive linemen. If they do anything, it might be Nick Bosa. Then they'll go ahead and do an outside linebacker, probably someone like Montez Sweat, and then go ahead and go to the 1 middle linebacker thing that they are. The 1 defensive lineman thing, then go ahead and do 2 linebacker positions. Really highly touted, physical specimen. He's not as technically sound as his brother, but for the most part, he still gets in there and he still does a hell of a lot of damage. Nothing a little bit of coaching, a little bit of strength conditioning can't go ahead and situate in the NFL. But let's go ahead and get into the linebacker position. which is going to be probably my shoe-in, personally, my pick to be Defensive Rookie of the Year, and that is Devin White. Dude is a baller. Dude flies around the field. He makes hella plays. He has crazy range, and he ain't afraid to stick his head in there and get some tackles, man. He is all around the ball. And then something that Tampa Bay needs with that stout defensive line up front with Jason Pierre-Paul and Ndamukong Suh, and then Vita Vea possibly coming in and making a bigger impact in his second season. If they eat up those double teams, Devin White is going to come flying in there with crazy tackles and playing very instinctive football. I could see him literally winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's how highly I think of the former LSU product, Devin White. Now, really isn't too much to talk about here. Let's go ahead and get into probably my most controversial pick, and that's going to be my last pick of the video, and that'll be another LSU man, which is Greedy Williams. Now, of the Cleveland Browns, you're probably thinking, I don't know, Drip. I don't know. They got DeAndre Baker or whatever the freak his name was that was picked, I think, in the first round by the New York Giants. If not the first round, late or early second round by the New York Giants. But I don't know, man. I see Greedy making more of an impact there than Baker in New York, and I couldn't come back to eat those words. They still have Janoris Jenkins in New York, so all that could come back to bite me in the ass. We'll see how this turns out. But if you were to go back and ask me, and basically anybody else going into the 2019 NFL draft, who the best cornerback prospect was, Greedy Williams was number one on damn near everybody's board. I don't know what happened in between then and the draft. Why he fell so low in the second round is beyond me, but he ended up in a great spot with a lot of young talent, a lot of good energy, in a place that, I don't know if he had off the field issues or something like that, but if he does, Cleveland damn sure is the place to be, because there really isn't a whole hell of a lot of crazy stuff going on. Although they will be the talk of the town, the energy of the town, with, you know, the Cleveland Cavaliers not really doing too hot, no shots at anybody. But I personally feel that Greedy Williams could eat next year. Opposite side, Denzel Ward, with that crazy situation they got going, brewing up in Cleveland for years to come. I hope you didn't ridicule me too much. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, you make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. 2-piece those mofos. It'll help the channel grow tremendous. And make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified anytime your boy actually uploads. Make sure that you go ahead and drop down below what rookie premieres you want to see and what you expect to see. So basically your predictions. Let me stop rambling on too much. With all that being said, man, stay tuned for more Madden 19 content and content in general on this channel. And until next time, fellas, peace.